with hospitals increasingly overwhelmed by the complications of the key, cardiovascular diseases, the National Cardiothoracic Center and its affiliates across the country in the month of September use the entire 30 days to raise awareness on cardio health issues. And on the occasion of World Heart Day, this conversation becomes even more pivotal. I just want to take the opportunity to wish, say a good morning to Dr. Srebo of the National Cardiothoracic Center, a great friend of the Breakfast Show, always, always, always. So, Doc, good morning to you. And Dr. Agbe is here to, of course, make him proud. I hear that at cardio, everybody wants to make Dr. Srebo proud, because he's one of Ghana's finest. And I mean, we'll not stop celebrating him anytime soon. But Doc, good morning to you. Welcome to GTV Breakfast.
Thank you.
How concerned are you about cardiovascular diseases? Because I know that hypertension, strokes, especially in younger people, are becoming a lot more common. How concerned are you?
Okay, so it's much more concerning because the burden of hypertension alone in Ghana, from a recent study, is about 34%, which means that 3 out of every 10 Ghanaian you meet have this condition we call hypertension and probably don't even know. So we take this studio, the people working here, people working around, you count 10 of them, most likely 3 out of that 10 would have hypertension.
Okay, I hear that we need to go on a quick break, and then when we return, we'll get into the conversation more earnestly. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And we're back. This is Breakfast on GTV, and we are in our little health corner talking cardiovascular diseases, especially because in this month of September, there is an activism for promoting heart health as we celebrate World Heart Day. So don't miss a beat on this segment. Dr. Albert Agbe from the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital Cardio Unit is our guest, and you were telling us about how much of a concern heart and cardiovascular diseases are, especially because it's becoming more prevalent in younger people. So tell us about that.
Yes, so I mean, the concern really is the fact that a condition like hypertension, if your blood pressure is high, in the beginning, you have no symptoms. So you can be walking about town with your blood pressure probably around 200, 100, and you will not know. Usually, by the first sign you have is a complication like a stroke, a kidney failure, a heart failure, or any of the complications. So many people walk around for a long time with high blood pressure without knowing, or what we call hypertension. And that's why it's a silent killer and it's dangerous, because probably if I have malaria, I'll have a headache, I'll have a fever, I'll probably go to a pharmacy or a hospital and get checked. But when you have hypertension, there are no symptoms at all in the beginning. Much later in the disease is when complications are showing up before you start having symptoms. And there are people who say, oh, when I have a headache, then I know my blood pressure is high. No, not quite. Many people who have high blood pressure, or what we call hypertension, would have no symptoms at all. And as I said in the beginning, about 3 out of 10 or 34% of adult Ghanaians have hypertension and probably don't know it because just a little percentage would have been checked. And then I'll go to this category of people, those who say I never get sick, so probably would not have any contact with a healthcare system. So most likely are not checking their BPs and all that. They would go on and have complications.
Which is incredibly worrying, because if you're not getting any symptoms, then how do you know that you need to get checked?
Yes.
For other diseases, you know that, well, if I'm feeling this way and that way, I need to go in. So when it comes to cardio, when should you get yourself into the hospital?
Okay, so there are basic things you can do at home. I personally am an advocate for every home having a blood pressure machine. It's not too expensive. I mean, between 400 and 600, max 700 cedis, you can get a blood pressure machine that can use a battery, and the whole household can use that same machine. I mean, young adults, elderly people can get their blood pressures checked. Then also, if you don't have that, there are community hospitals, healthcare facilities, pharmacies have BP machines.
Even,
just get checked.
Drugstores have
drugstores
BP machines, and they offer it for free sometimes.
Yeah, just get checked and see. If it's normal, it's fine. And also, there's another danger. There are people who have their blood pressures checked. It was fine. Just because it was fine yesterday doesn't mean it's fine today. So any event can happen and can trigger your blood pressure shooting up. Let me give you an example. Being told about a relative dying, hearing the bad news can just cause an acute rise in the blood pressure. Most times it goes down, but for a few people it doesn't. So just because you check your blood pressure in the beginning of the year and it was fine, doesn't mean that it is still fine. So regular checks are important on your own. And for every adult in your adult life, I mean, there are people who do it on their birthday or in their birthday week. Just go do routine investigations like a kidney function, a liver function, a basic ECG. And ECG is where they put electrodes on your chest and check the activity of your heart. So when you do that and you are fine, at least you know you are okay. If you are not fine, then an early intervention can be made.
Okay, so World Heart Day.
Yes.
What do you want people to know this month of September? Because you're taking the whole month to go into activism, awareness creation on heart health.
Yes, because the leading cause of death, we are dying more from non-communicable diseases than from communicable diseases. This is the difference. When COVID came, COVID was a communicable disease. It could be transferred from one person to the other. Non-communicable diseases are not like that. So they are conditions that you can have, disease conditions that you can have, that you can't transfer to another person, in very simple terms. And hypertension, kidney failure, heart failure, they are all related to the heart and its function. And because we are dying more, I mean, worldwide, about 20 million deaths. I mean, that's quite significant. And even in Ghana, it's the leading cause of death. You come to Korle Bu, our stroke unit, we always have emergencies, kidney diseases, heart failure, heart attacks. It's on the rise. So in this month, the theme for the World Heart Day is don't miss a beat. And we are bringing this advocacy because if you can listen to me this morning, you are probably home. You've not had yourself checked in a long time. Go to a nearby hospital. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to have a headache. You don't have to have fever or any of that. You don't have to feel sick to get checked. Yeah.
How do you get help? Because, and I'm going back again to what you said about not getting any symptoms. So you don't even know that you are critical at that point. So what are the day-to-day things that you can do to keep yourself in check? You talked about families having, BP monitoring machines, because apart from hypertension, there's also hypotension. Yeah. So people have low blood pressure, and people need to know how to manage these things. So at the workplace, in schools, what systems can we put in place to ensure that we keep an eye on some of these non-communicable diseases? We are talking diabetes, we are talking hypertension, we are talking strokes, and because it's cardio, more of the heart-related stuff.
Yes, so there's a lot from from workplaces. I know there are workplaces who have insurance policy for staff and have inbuilt clinics and all that. There are people who work in facilities where there are clinics, but they never pass there. They're in a rush to enter their offices, they're in a rush to leave. So you can just pass by the clinic at your workplace if you have one. If you don't, a neighborhood hospital, a neighborhood clinic, there are people who have all sorts of perceptions about hospitals. Some may be true, but beyond that, it can be a very life-saving thing for you if you get checked. Now to our lifestyle, non-communicable diseases, the driver is our lifestyle. I mean, there are many people who work very hard. They work from morning till evening. I put myself as an example. Much of my work is sitting, consulting. A good
example or a bad example?
Yes, doing echoes and all that, right? So I sit down a lot. And there is a new saying in our circles that sitting is the new smoking, because from research, I mean, you have the same risk profile as someone who is smoking. I'm not saying, like smoking is right, but I'm just trying to just draw your attention to it. So, you can come to the office early in the morning, stay through the whole day, not work much. You are sitting because we are having more sedentary, lifestyles, even at work. So although we are tired at the end of the day, it is not compared to our grandfathers and grandmothers who are in the village, who go to farms, who are active through the day. We all get tired at the end of the day, but they were active, they were sweating, they were using their muscles, and we are sitting down more.
Because you can just call your colleague and say, can you get me this one? And the person will just go, instead of walking to their desk.
Yes, so when I go to work and I park my car,
that is deep.
I walk around the hospital. You very short distances, you don't need to use a car. And that's why in the West now, people ride bicycles to work, people walk, people are walking more, people are jogging more in neighborhoods. It's all lifestyle, your choices, whether you are active or not. Weight loss is important because obesity is also on the rise. We are gaining more weight. We are not a very tall race. So if you are not tall and you put on a lot of weight, there's a lot of risk factors to your heart. Then we have high cholesterol, which is also another big problem. If you don't check, you will not know. The symptoms are not known in the beginning. So, some time ago, I went to the hospital and I decided to check my cholesterol. When I checked, it was very high. So I had to change my lifestyle, do a little fasting here and there, see a dietitian, have a diet plan. At a point, I even have to be on medications until the cholesterol came down. And then I got off the medications and kept a relatively more active, life. So cholesterol problems and also food. We have a lot of carbohydrates in our food, as Ghanaians. Much of our food is carbohydrates. If you look at rice, the portion of rice alone compared to other things, it's more. It's about 80% rice, and then stew a little, maybe fish.
Otherwise, you won't get full.
Yeah, you won't get full because otherwise you won't get full. So you realize that we are not eating healthy. You go take 3 balls of kenkey with a little fish. Whilst the kenkey is not the real meal, the fish, the protein is.
In our part of the world, it's the other way around. So you see the plate, and the portion is always carb heavy.
Yes.
And everything else light.
Light, yes.
Because you want to feel full.
Yes, and that's why we are dying a bit more out of these complications. So you look at our diet, we eat pork, there's nothing wrong, but it has to be in moderation. And also you have to know your cholesterol levels from a check, because you will never know. I am a young man, but my cholesterol level was high. It wasn't even because I was living any wrong way and all that, but it can go up because everything we eat at the end of the day is converted into cholesterol in the body. And that's what cholesterol does in summary. Cholesterol is like, when you wash plates in the sink, after a while, the water doesn't flow well. The water doesn't flow well because the oil builds up in the sink, and then in the pipes, the PVC pipes that connect the sink. At home, we probably pour hot water, and then it probably melts the fat away, and then the drain moves much better. But in your body, when the cholesterol builds up in your blood vessels, the blood vessels are tubes that carry blood from the heart and also to the heart. So if cholesterol builds up in them, it blocks it. So when you hear someone has had a stroke, there are 2 types. One type is when a tube that connects the heart to the brain bursts open and the person bleeds inside. Another type is when the blood vessel or the tube that connects the heart to the brain gets blocked and there's not enough blood supply to the brain. So, and that blockade comes from the high cholesterol. So if you don't know, it will be building up gradually. And you can have a young person having a stroke at a young age because their cholesterol levels were probably high and they did not know. And they are not active. They are probably sitting, working from home or even working from the office, sedentary life, not eating well, or you eat breakfast, you don't really work much, then you eat lunch, you've not worked hard, you've eaten dinner, and all that food is stored and converted into cholesterol or fat in the body, and then your risk profile goes up.
Okay, what are you doing to mark World Heart Day?
So one of it is coming to the studio because we know you have audience with our people. So we are trying to raise awareness. We are trying to speak on radio stations, TV stations, let people know that these diseases are dangerous because 1, you don't have symptoms. 2, they can kill you. 3, you don't have to be old to die from them. 4, you can be active, you can be young. There are people who even visit the gym who are probably active but still have risk factors.
Which is the problem?
Some are genetic.
Because you say that, exercise, you've talked about, managing your diet.
Yes.
And you always say managing your diet does not go alone.
Yes.
You need to pair that with an active lifestyle. Don't say too much. Go out there. But those who are going to the gym are also dying. So what's the point? For those who are not motivated to go, they're looking at all these people who seem healthy, but are also falling victim to strokes and hypertension. So what's the motivation to keep going or to start going?
There is every motivation to start or continue going because for a majority of people, being active, taking care of your diet and changing your lifestyle, losing weight, would protect you from a majority of this cardiovascular disease. For a small percentage of people, there are genetic factors, which means that you were born with it. There are people who have heart conditions they were born with that probably didn't manifest early. They are still walking around and have no symptoms. So even if they go to the gym and all that, if those conditions are not diagnosed, they are still at a risk of having complications. And that's why at least you need to get checked, you need to get screened and all that. That's why it's important.
I mean, at National Cardio, you have your work cut out for you, don't
Yes.
you? Because cardio is expensive business.
Yes.
If you are referred to that unit, and there's a lot of empathy, and I've been to your center, the doctors work really hard. What are the most glaring challenges at National Cardio, and what kind of support do you need to engage in, continue engaging in the kind of work that you do? Government helps, but are there partnerships you're looking for?
Yeah.
What holes need to be plugged?
Yeah, so I think some time ago, Awake Water had a collaboration with the units where every bottle you buy, there's
a percentage that is donated.
Yes, and we have some. Yes, we have some people who come to renovate our wards, who come to make donations every now and then. So if you are a Ghanaian watching us now and you have some extra cash, sometimes you don't even have to have extra cash. There are children there with congenital heart diseases who have to be operated, but there's no money. And the things that are used for these procedures are imported, and it's not cheap. The government subsidizes and helps, but there is much more space for corporate institutions, individuals, well-meaning Ghanaians to support the work we do. Another challenge is the fact that people present too late. People come in when they are almost at complications. So there's this perception about Korle Bu that when you are going to Korle Bu, you are dying. It's because you are coming to Korle Bu late. Many people, when they are well or when they are unwell, they go to herbal centers, they go to prayer camps, and they do all sorts of things. And at the tail end, when very little can be done, that's when they present. So it is much more better to present early. It increases your chances of recovery, of diagnosis, and all that than when you are in complications before you present. Yeah.
Like I'm saying, the unit needs a lot of help.
Yes.
You've talked about the challenge. Presenting late, we always want to advocate early diagnosis, early treatment. How can people support you?
Yes. So
say if we have extra cash,
yes.
But how do we do it?
Yes. So I think it will, because of this age of scamming and all that, we don't advise you to go online and do anything there. Korle Bu is here in Accra. You can just drive to Korle Bu. The main car park, you have the National Cardiothoracic Center right there. You walk to our offices, you ask for the director's office or any of the directors or managers of the place. You can have audience with any of them. You can find out. We sometimes have individuals walk in and just ask that, maybe who are those who are in debt or who haven't paid their bill although they are discharged.
People
and they
do that.
Yes, on their birthday. We have many individuals who routinely walk into Korle Bu, into wards, and sometimes it's not much. There are people who probably are owing about 500 cedis and they are on admission. There are people who come on their birthday or just regular days. Churches do that sometimes. Individuals do that. So you can just take a visit to us at Korle Bu, just make inquiries, have audience with any of the managers. When you just get to the building and you ask, I'm sure you'll be directed to the appropriate office.
I think we should all just adopt that lifestyle that, I like when people do that. It's their birthday, they're cutting cake, but they're doing it in a meaningful way.
Yes.
They are impacting lives. So the whole month of September is dedicated to cardio and heart health
Yes.
awareness. And what do you want people to know? And perhaps how can people reach you if they have further questions?
Yes. So, I mean, one, we want people presenting, especially when you're having a chest pain, don't stay at home.
Chest pain.
Chest pain, it could be a heart attack, irregular heart beats. You feel your heart is beating irregularly, sometimes too fast, sometimes too slow. You've lost consciousness. There are people who lost consciousness. They wake up and because they are fine, they don't present to a hospital. We want people having knowledge about this.
How do you know you have an irregular heart?
You feel it.
Okay.
At rest, you are not supposed to feel your heartbeat. You know, it's not like you are running, you are just sitting and you are feeling the heartbeat. There is a problem, you need to get checked, you know, and all that. And we also want people to take their health into their hands. There are people working so hard, but spend very little on their health. I mean, I take my car to the mechanic, they say, oh, this car, probably, maybe this part is about 5,000 cedis. And I look for the money and I pay it. But the same person goes to the hospital, they say, oh, a lab is 500 cedis. And it's too expensive for the person. It's because we don't own our health. We don't see that no matter how much money you make, you will need to be healthy to enjoy it. There are people who have a lot of money, but can't enjoy the money they have because at that time when you now have all the money and you've not taken good care of yourself, you've not managed yourself, you are diagnosed of conditions, you can't now eat this, you can't eat that, you can't do this, or you are probably sick, you are in bed and all that. So please own your health, take care of yourself, take care of your heart, don't miss a beat.
How can people reach you, Doc?
So we are in Korle Bu. I mean, we don't advocate so much online because people can impersonate and put out
but
all
there's
sorts of
telemedicine. So
yeah, there's telemedicine. So yes, Korle Bu as at now we are not practicing telemedicine. I know there are private hospitals that have telemedicine facility and they are all springing up around. You don't need to be in Korle Bu necessarily in the beginning. You have to go because Korle Bu is a referral facility.
Unit, yeah.
So your neighborhood or you hear of a very good hospital, you can always walk in there, and if you need further assessment by a cardiologist or a cardiothoracic surgeon, you will be sent to us.
What's CardioFit? What do you do?
So cardiology fellow in training. So you are a cardiologist, so I'm a physician specialist, but you are a fellow in training. So you are doing my dissertations and doing other things, and then I take my exam and I'm a full-blown cardiologist.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
And send our good wishes to our good friends. Cardio, they are great friends of the Breakfast Show because, obviously, Dr. Serebo, right?
Yes.
And also because our key partner, Awake, sends portions of their earnings to the Cardiothoracic Center to support persons who require surgery. So all the best in your training, fellow in training.
Yes.
Once you become a full one, then perhaps we'll engage more with you. I'm sure that we will have another opportunity to have.
I want to give a shout out to Prof. Doku. I mean, that's the head of cardiology at the unit. And he, upon his instruction, I came this morning. So good morning, Prof. And all the bosses, Dr. Ajikum, every other person at the unit, director of the units, Dr. Intua Mensah, and every other person.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sure that the bosses are proud of you.
Yes,
and we'll continue to wish you well. We wish the Cardio Center well, and keep up the good work that you do. It's incredible work.
Thank you.
And I am a huge fan of the center. Dr. Albert Agui is a cardio fellow in training. He's a physician specialist at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. He'll be talking to us about the 2025 World Heart Day. Don't miss a beat is the theme. And they want to encourage all of us to take our heart health more seriously as the whole month of September is being dedicated to matters concerning heart health. So all the issues concerning hypertension, strokes, and the lifestyle changes that you and I need to make in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle are being advocated in this month of September. Shouts to the Cardiothoracic Center at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital and all the incredible doctors and nurses who work there. We continue to keep with you in prayer. We'll go now over to